Local. It's the B Plus Wrestling Podcast.
The Moose.
You might not be an A, but you are a B plus.
Check it out. Here we go.
All right, ladies, gents, and non-binary friends, welcome to another B Plus podcast. I'm your host, Greg Unchained. I don't know what day it is. You know what that means. It's a bonus episode. This time around, it's this period of time in Britwres. So joining me, of course, a man I haven't spoken to in I don't even know how long, Aqeel the Heel. How are you, brother?
I'm good. You know, I think we need a punchier name for the show now.
Yeah, it was this month in Britwres, but I think the last time we spoke was at the end of February.
I remember talking about the women's tag titles and gateways to other universes and things. It was a weird show.
It was the NXT, the tag titles being a gateway dimension. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know when it was we spoke last, but it feels like a long time. I guess just so much happens in wrestling in general that it may have only been a month, but it feels like a lot longer.
Yeah, that's very true. Although not much has been happening in Britwres for the last couple of weeks, so this might be another show that goes off the rails.
I think anytime we talk, it's going to go off the rails. I'm pretty sure you came on the call-in show once, and it went completely off the rails. I remember Danda's exasperated sigh as you were like, "Can't I just talk to my friend Greg?"
No, that was Danda's fault because she wanted to talk about the cheese baby thing.
Right. Yeah, it's yeah, rails. Who needs them?
Exactly.
But there's not a lot going on in Britwres, but there have been some Australians over there recently, in recent memory, that I don't think we've talked about. AJ Istria went over for WXW. Have you caught up with much of AJ Istria's stuff?
Yeah, so he was over for 16 Carat Weekend, and he also, while he was here, worked a North show in Newcastle.
Yeah. Newcastle upon Tyne, innit?
Newcastle upon Tyne, yeah, if we're going to be all proper about it, Greg.
Am I doing the right accent? I don't even know. No, they're like the Geordie accent, innit?
Yeah, they're like Pac.
Okay.
Pac is from Newcastle.
Yeah, I can't do that
kind of
accent.
Yeah, no, he did well in Newcastle. Weirdly, Newcastle, the guy that runs the Aussie Graps Gifts Twitter account, whatever that's called.
Ozres Gifts, yeah.
Ozres Gifts. He's from Newcastle.
Jordan, yeah.
Jordan's from Newcastle. He goes to North quite often.
Yeah.
So that they sort of knew who he was, AJ was. He did well there. He did well in 16 Carat. I think the only thing is, because he was only really here for a weekend, he didn't leave. He left a positive impression, but it wasn't the biggest impression, because not a huge amount of people saw him.
Right, like not a huge buzz. Because he wasn't in 16 Carat, he was in Ambition, right? Like the shoot style.
I think he was in the tournament as well.
Oh, okay.
Or at least he worked a non-tournament match or two during the weekend.
Yeah, like he worked a tag match or something on the show, I think. I've got to be completely honest, I have not caught up on a lot of Britwres stuff from like the last few months. There's been so much going on, and I am very behind.
Yeah, it's fine. There's not much. It's not like you do a show about it or anything.
Well, I do occasionally when you bother to show up. That's...
Ooh, heavy shots. Heavy shots.
But yeah, no, so he was there for that weekend, though, and did the whole... Did he do the bowling as well? He did the bowling, right?
He was supposed to do the bowling. He was down as a maybe for the bowling, and he was going to team with someone crazy who I don't remember. But they both pulled out last minute.
Ah, damn. That sounds like fun. Like, I feel like if I was going to go over for the 16, like, I feel like the bowling would probably be the main attraction for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's the main attraction for a lot of people.
Yeah, it sounds pretty awesome. But no, so he made a good impression, if not a huge buzz. But there is a positive positive vibes around AJ Istria in Germany.
Yeah, I'm looking on his cage match now. He was actually here for a lot longer than I realised.
He was there for a couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, because he also worked Attack, OTT, and RevPro. I've only seen the RevPro matches out of those. And it was a good little
How
match.
did I miss the Rev Pro appearance?
It was a cockpit.
Wow. Okay, like, this is my job. I cover the Aussie Grap stuff, and I talk about them when they go overseas. And I mentioned he was in the 16 Carat weekend, but I didn't even know that he showed up on a Rev Pro show. This is how out of the loop I am. This is how behind I am. I should be embarrassed and ashamed of myself.
You really should.
I really, really should.
I think he wasn't announced until quite late because I don't remember him. But no, he did. I mean, he did well, I guess.
Yeah. Well, you know who I do know worked Rev Pro and Attack, and I think Fight Club. No, I think it might have just been Attack Rev Pro. The Velocities, they headed over that way as well. Jude the Dude London and Paris de Silva. Did you see much of their stuff? Have you gotten around their stuff? Have they gotten a buzz? They had to have gotten a buzz, surely.
They worked the same Rev Pro show that AJ Istria did.
Well, there you go.
They worked another smaller Rev Pro show and the One Attack show. They got a lot of positive feedback, but again, because they only worked 3 matches, it's difficult to really get a huge amount of buzz.
Yeah, the Velocities are amazing, though.
Yeah, they're really, really good.
They're quite possibly my favorite Australian tag team. And I will preface this by saying, suffix this, by saying that I say that about almost every Australian tag team because we have a lot of good ones.
I see.
Yeah. We have a very strong tag team scene.
Yeah. The issue is most of what they worked, they weren't super featured. It was more just, hey, you're here to work these other guys.
Yeah. I did notice that on the Rev Pro show. And, like, they came out with, like, new gear and everything. Like, they were rocking the Spartan Spirit gear and everything. But, like, I feel like that kind of thing was probably lost on the UK fan. Obviously, I notice it watching it because I see them over here. And so when they come out in snazzy new gear, it's like, oh, they're really showing up for this. But the UK guys are like, okay, cool, new wrestlers. Like, that's...
Yeah, although I think when they worked Attack, they worked against Aussie Open. So I reckon they did well there. I'll be honest, I don't watch Attack, so I haven't seen the match.
Yeah, see, I need to get around finding... Like, I assume Attack have an on-demand service, and I just haven't...
No, they don't. This is the issue with Attack. This is why I don't follow them. They do
Attack.
They do shows individually.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, see, I'd rather pay for a month and watch a couple of shows than pay for one show. I know that sounds weird.
No, but that's the economy we're in now.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. You can't be selling individual shows in 2019 because no new people are gonna start following your company that way. All you're gonna get is the same couple of people that have been following, that just like your product already, or have maybe been to a couple of live shows and enjoyed that.
100%. Because Wrestle Rampage do the same thing here. They haven't gotten on the whole, on-demand service yet. They're still doing individual shows, and it bums me out.
Yeah, it's a weird way of doing things.
Yeah, we'll agree. But so positive vibes, just, short stints mean that not a huge impression is left, but...
Yeah, the weekend the Velocities were here, I heard a lot of people talking about...
That's good.
Sorry. Because they left basically the next weekend and wrestling moves so fast, it wasn't the biggest impact.
Right. Well, I also just saw recently on Twitter that Shazza McKenzie is heading your way in, I think, June or July.
Yeah, she's here for a month.
Yeah, so she's going to be over there for a while. I'm not sure if Unsocial Jordan is with her, because I know that they're both over in the States at the moment, and Jordan got injured, unfortunately. So I'm not sure if he's going to the UK as well, or if it's just Shazza, but either way, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think because Shazza's here for a month, because Shazza has there's a lot of Aussies over here that already know and like Shazza, Obviously, Carl Fletcher being the biggest one.
Yeah.
And even a lot of the Brits are friendly with Shazza, so I think she will, and because she's here for a month, I think she'll do really, really well.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Eve girls and stuff have gone over and worked Shimmer and whatnot, and
Yeah.
Shazza is on those same Shimmer trips and everything, and the Rise seminars and stuff that they all do. So it's very likely that she'll be well booked while she's there.
And Eve have their biggest show of the year around when Shazza's here. Queendom 2 is
Yes.
during that period, so I wouldn't be shocked if she shows up on that as well.
Nice. I hope so. I hope that's why one of the reasons she's decided to go UK for a while is, Queendom's happening, so may as well make a trip out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, because she recently did the whole she quit her shoot job, right? So she quit her shoot job before heading to the States, and everyone was like, "Oh man, she's in the States, and she's in the States during Double or Nothing." But like the Double or Nothing card has pretty much all been announced, so unless she shows up in that over budget battle royal, I think that when she said to me, "No, that's not what's happening. I just quit my job like a crazy person to try to wrestle." When she said that, I was like, "Okay, yep, sure. There's no contract. I believe you." It's actually looking like she may have actually been for real with me. Which my mantra is don't trust a wrestler. So when she's like, "No, nothing's happening," I'm like, "Yeah, sure, it's not." But yeah, it looks like nothing is happening, and she's going to the UK instead.
Although, isn't she friendly with Brandy or someone?
Yeah, well, when Brandy and Cody came over for World Series Wrestling, they were very high on Shazza McKenzie. That's why when she quit her job and she was in America in May, everyone was like, "Yeah, dude, she's all elite for sure." Like a lot of people were saying it. It wasn't just me. There was a lot of us who just assumed based on the tweets and stuff that she was going all elite. And I mean, she still may be. Who knows? I don't know. But it's just one of those things that it's funny because they were very high on her, and they've tweeted things back and forth and stuff. And yeah, so we all got excited.
We'll see in a couple of weeks probably. All we know for sure is she's in the UK end of June through to July.
Yeah,
that's all we know for sure.
Yeah, which is good. This is good. I'm looking forward to it. But that does it for my hijacking of the show to talk about Australian wrestlers who are in your neck of the woods. What's actually happening in Britwres?
Right. I think we'll start with... So Fight Club Pro had their biggest shows of the year last weekend, the Dream Tag Team Invitational. It was a 3-night tournament, tag team tournament, with a lot of cool names, I think. And this is something we're going to talk about when we talk about Super Strong Style coming up. There was a lot of imports on this show, which I'm not the biggest fan of.
Right.
So you had...
You're one of those fans.
No, I'm not one of those fans. My argument is, and I don't hate it for something like DTTI, I dislike it for Strong Style, and again, we'll talk about that later. But I think we're at a point where the scene needs to be built up more and not bring in people to kind of prop it up, almost.
Right. Right, so you're scared of going back to the Ricky Knight jobbing to WWE, a former WWE Superstar of the Month kind of thing.
Exactly.
You're scared of the entire scene dropping back to that. But at the same time, to build the scene, proper use of internationals is key.
Yeah.
No?
That is true. And I think the fact that Tag Team Invitational was won by a local team, Chris Brooks and Carl Fletcher. No, sorry, not Chris Brooks and Carl Fletcher. It was the Lucha Bros. Although the Lucha Bros are quite regular in the UK, so I almost don't consider them imports.
Right.
Even though they're
regular everywhere. It's fucking weird.
It's insane.
I put them in the same boat as John Cena. I'm not entirely convinced that they aren't actually clones.
Well, they're wearing masks, so it wouldn't be that difficult.
Yeah, because just the amount of bookings they do. Over WrestleMania weekend, they were literally everywhere.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It's insane. It's not how are you alive even But yeah.
And Phoenix almost never took off his hoodie because he was just in such a rush to get everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
crazy.
so the shows haven't dropped online yet, but there was a couple matches which are really worth checking out, I imagine, based off of the buzz coming out of it. The biggest was on night one, you had Will Ospreay against Dan Maloney. You might remember Dan Maloney as a jobber on NXT UK.
Yeah.
He's since been released from NXT UK, came back onto the British scene, and he seems like someone that's about to really break out and become a megastar.
Right.
It might be he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder for being treated so shitty. It might be a case of, I know he had some changes in his personal life, which meant he can wrestle more. It might be that's what's got him more interested in it again. I don't know.
Right.
All I know is a lot of people are talking about him as the future of Britwres, and this Ospreay match is where it really, really stems from.
Okay. I'm just going to say this, though, because I've done a quick Google. Dan Maloney, he looks like an angry, slightly buff Ray William Johnson.
I see that.
And I'm never going to be able to not see it, and I'm just going to be expecting him to crack weird jokes about memes.
Okay. He's
And if he doesn't, I'll be disappointed.
I see. I don't know if this will change your opinion, but he is one of Tyler Bates' best mates.
Man, I don't care who he's friends with. I just care if he's a good wrestler. So
He's very good. He's very good.
Okay, well, I'll have to check it. I'll have to check some stuff out for sure. He was actually in the UK Championship tournament.
Yeah, he was in the first one.
Yeah, lost to Mark Andrews from the looks of things.
Yes. So he's been there.
Okay.
He's been there for a while. He worked the. Do you remember there was a weird UK special between the first and second tournament?
Yeah, we've talked about it a few times.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a TV taping. It just ended up being a weird special. He worked that as well, teaming with, I want to say TJP, because that was a weird show that happened.
Yeah, who also kind of looks a little bit like Ray William Johnson.
Yeah, maybe there's something to that.
There's 100% something to that. These guys need to get together with Ray William Johnson and do some kind of body swap trio thing on a Joey Janela show.
That would be. Is Ray William Johnson still a thing?
He's totally still a thing. Right. I see his videos on Facebook from time to time.
Yeah, but he doesn't do YouTube stuff anymore, does he?
I don't know. YouTube's weird now. YouTube's like I don't know. I have no idea. He's probably like on IGTV or something.
Gross.
How dare he keep up with the times?
God, what a lame man.
No one likes YouTube anymore, Aqeel.
Oh.
You're aware of this, right?
No, this is news to me. Do people not like YouTube anymore?
People hate YouTube. Even PewDiePie is looking for an alternative.
Is it because the YouTube Kids thing?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started on the YouTube Kids thing. So
that.
110% I did. I had to delete it from my kid's iPad and stuff. No, because as well, I'm a conspiracy theory nut.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no.
And so you don't want to start down. Talk about derailing. You don't want to start down this rabbit hole, friend. No. YouTube bad. No one likes YouTube.
YouTube bad. YouTube bad.
Subscribe to PewDiePie.
PewDiePie a Nazi.
Yeah, he's I don't know. He's a controversial figure, I guess.
Back to wrestling.
But you know who's not a controversial figure? Dan Maloney. Nailed it.
Future of Britwres, yeah. So I really liked him before the UK tournament. After that first UK tournament, he it felt like he almost vanished off the scene for a while.
Okay, yeah.
And is now coming back in a big way. Watch this Ospreay match. Watch the whole tournament, because Fight Club Pro have a on-demand service.
Yes.
And there's a lot of cool teams on shows. You've got Lucha Bros, you've got LAX, you've got Pac and Aita were on these shows.
Nice. Yeah, I think I've actually seen pictures. Yeah, making the rounds.
Yeah, Mark Davis was defending his title there. It's a hell of a weekend. Because I haven't seen it, I can't comment too much, but I've heard a lot of buzz about this Ospreay Maloney match. It needs to be watched. Sami Callihan was there, unfortunately, but
Unfortunately,
we
mate,
can't all
listen,
be
Sami
winners.
Callahan is the ace of Impact. He is the singular reason that I still watch Impact Wrestling is Sami Callahan.
Well, we can't all. Some of us make mistakes, Greg. Some of us make mistakes.
I like Sami Callahan. I'm not going to waste my time defending him.
Sure.
He doesn't need me to defend him.
Sure.
But he's enjoyable. I like his work.
Speaking of defend, this is an awful segue. I'm not even going to try it. We've got some.
Come on, you can't tee it up and then not take the swing. Go on. Speaking of defend,
one of the members of Defend Indie Wrestling, Kid Lycos. Now I don't even know if he was really a member of Defend. That was bad.
Right.
Anyway,
you are 100% correct. That was an awful segue. Yeah. Kid Lycos retiring.
Unfortunately, he's retiring. Have we talked much about Lycos and CCK in general? I don't know.
A little bit, yes. We did. We kind of did like a little bit of a profile on them in one of our episodes, but we haven't talked a lot about him action-wise because he keeps getting injured.
Yeah,
he came back, and we covered him coming back on one of our episodes and getting injured again.
Yeah, so he's had some horrible luck. He and Chris Brooks at one point looked like the most over acts in Britwres. Brooks is still up there as one of the most over acts, and I think even Lycos is still stupidly over.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he keeps getting injured. It seems to always be the shoulder from what I can tell. And so last weekend, if not the weekend before, on Wednesday night even, he announced that he's going to retire from in-ring competition. It's an absolute shame because he's only about 22. If you listen to him on podcasts or anything, he absolutely loves wrestling. He's the kind of nerd that would be on a podcast like this talking about wrestling.
Right.
He watches a lot of.
Well, we do have an opening for someone to cover Britwres, someone reliable.
Opening, Greg. I see. Are we adding a third member? I don't understand.
Man, I'm down. I'm down for it.
But yeah,
Kid Lycos, if you're listening.
Yeah, Kid Lycos, absolutely great guy. It's a real shame he's having to retire. The fact that he loves wrestling as much as he does, and is beloved in wrestling, makes me think he's probably going to do some kind of non-wrestling role, be that just Chris Brooks' manager. He does a lot of ring announcing. There's all sorts of things he can do.
Of course, yeah.
It was lucky for him, I guess, that he at least got to work WrestleMania weekend before he retired. But it's still absolute disaster.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. Like, but at the end of the day, you gotta look after your health.
Yeah,
you know, like that's first and foremost. Like, he's gonna want to, presumably he's gonna want to have a family someday, and live to see grandchildren and all that sort of stuff. So, take care of your body first.
Yeah, I think a lot of people had been talking in private circles about maybe he should consider retiring because he keeps getting injured so much. So this wasn't a major shock in that sense, but it's still really, really sad. Really, really sad to see.
Yeah, definitely. It's always sad to see like anyone's career taken from them, too early. Which, I mean, like, how old is he? 22?
22, 23, around that age.
Yeah, So, that's very young. Yeah, so it's definitely, 22 I've got here. It's 22 years old. So it sucks. It sucks. There's not much else to say about it other than it sucks. And, hopefully he does find other roles within wrestling. I did see him pop up a few times over WrestleMania weekend, which was pretty cool. There was also because we haven't talked much about WrestleMania weekend at all, have we?
Well, that was my next topic anyway, so we might as well transition into that.
Yeah. Well, so two guys that stood out to me on a couple of shows that I watched that I was like, oh, these guys have made a bit of an impression for me. Team White Wolf.
Yeah.
Not the first time I've seen them. I've seen them on a few shows here and there. But yeah, Team White Wolf really stood out.
Yeah, so we've talked a little bit, I think, about Aqeel after the Zack Sabre Jr. match really started making the rounds. He and his tag partner Carlos Romo are, I think they're the next wave of British talents that are going to really make an impact. They might already be starting on that zone. Aqeel is working a returning Matt Sydal at Rev Pro's next big show. Carlos Romo is around a lot. They worked a lot of... Actually, they didn't work a huge amount of matches over WrestleMania weekend. It was 2 or 3.
Yeah, they worked a couple. I can't even remember what show it was that I saw them on. Like, it's all a big blur to me at this point.
I know they worked a Rev Pro show. I know they worked Chikara because there was an A-Kid Airwolf match which got a lot of buzz.
Yeah, it would have been Chikara that I saw.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think they worked one more, which I'm not remembering off the top of my head.
I think they were both in the clusterfuck.
Yeah, they were in the clusterfuck as well.
Yeah.
Speaking of...
Chikara and the clusterfuck, that's where I would have seen them.
Yeah. Speaking of A-Kid, there's a big time A-Kid Will Ospreay match which dropped on YouTube just before WrestleMania weekend. I've seen people go 5 stars on it. Will Ospreay is a dude. A-Kid is a guy that very obviously patterns himself after Will Ospreay. So this was a big time dream match for him, and it really, really delivered. If you want to be on the ground floor or something, I think we were talking about the A-Kid Zack Sabre Jr. match before it got 5 stars.
Before Meltzer jumped on it.
Yeah, before.
That's what you get here at the B+. We beat Meltzer to the punch.
We beat Meltzer to the punch. If you want to be first to the punch, this match is free on YouTube. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. Greg is going to link it in the description, I guess. It's
let's say that.
See, if I say it on the show, you have to do it.
Yes, I know. You're a jerk.
I know. You're welcome.
So Aqeel's going to shoot me the link as soon as we finish talking, and then I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah.
See how that works? I can flip it. I can easily flip it on you.
Nicely done. But we go out of your way to watch this match.
Yes. Find it somewhere. If it's not in the show notes, we apologize.
I make no apologies.
And then seek it out.
Yeah. I think that's it for... Hold on. Sorry, I was barely talking because I just sent you the match. It's on you now, Greg.
I see no... Oh, okay, it's in that chat. Okay, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, it's on me now.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Did you watch the Rev Pro show over WrestleMania weekend?
I did not, no. Because I was behind already, and I was like, I'll watch some other shows, and then I'll catch up, and I have not at all.
Okay.
I should not be on this show.
It was a really good show. I
have heard good things. I've heard positive things.
Yeah. I would recommend the CCK against the Young Lions from New Japan match in the opener. It was a really, really good match. It was the US Young Lions, Carl Frederick.
Yeah, the LA Dojo guys. Yeah, they're actually really good. They've impressed me every time I've seen them.
Yeah. Another testament to how good the New Japan dojo system is.
the whole Young Lions system is fantastic, like restricting their moves and stuff, and somehow their matches, like somehow Young Lion matches end up being some of the most exciting ones, and when they've got their restricted movesets and stuff, that's impressive, you know?
Yeah, it's because they're forced to actually think outside the box and tell a story as opposed to just doing some cool moves.
Yeah. I've raved a bunch about the Uyemura and Yuya, their series that they've had where they kept going to the 10-minute time limit draws.
Yeah.
And stuff. And like they've broken that now, but like it was one of the best things happening in New Japan in 2018. Like, and you're talking like Okada Omega happened in 2018. Like, yeah.
It was a very fun series. These LA Dojo dudes look like they're going to live up to the dojo system potential. This was an
Definitely.
awesome little match. It was the opener to this Rev Pro show. If you haven't already seen it, because let's be honest, there was a lot of stuff going over on WrestleMania weekend.
It was a lot.
We can't all be Arnold Furious and watch literally everything.
What did he watched something like 37 shows or something,
shows.
right?
He watched literally
36. God damn.
38, sorry. 38.
Yeah.
He watched literally every show that streamed.
Yeah. He watched it, guys, so that you can just go listen to the Review podcast. You don't have to watch it all. That's why we do what we do. So check out Review with Arnold Furious because he's a fucking madman.
It's insane. Yes, I think that's it for Brits over WrestleMania weekend.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hey guys, just a reminder, if you want to hear all of these wonderful B Plus podcast episodes completely ad-free, make sure you head over to Patreon or Podbean, where we are the featured podcast this week. You can subscribe for as little as $1 a month up to $10 a month, where anything you want to help us with, it really helps out. It's going to help us grow the site. It's going to help us redesign some things, and everything that we get through this and through the advertising as well is all going straight back into the podcast so that we can get Aussie Graps out there for the rest of the world to hear about, for the rest of the world to see, so we can grow this mission of watch global, support local, and build indie wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that and get some really cool rewards like call-in shows, bonus episodes, ad-free like I mentioned, then head over to patreon.com/theb+ and subscribe today. Hey everyone, just want to take a second to tell you about one of our new sponsors, Outbreak Nutrition. Outbreak Nutrition are creating supplements for survival, sharper minds, quicker reflexes, all the energy you need to take your performance to the next level, whether that be on the field, in the gym, on the gaming field. That's right, they have specifically designed gaming supplements as well to help you focus on those late night sessions. They even sell coffee, you guys, at Outbreak Nutrition. You can get coffee pods, you can get coffee beans, you can get supplements for the bedroom as well if you want to enhance your performance there. These are performance enhancing supplements for every aspect of your life, specifically designed by gamers, for gamers, to stay fit and healthy in the gym, to stay sharp and focused on the game, and to dominate in all areas of life. So check out OUTBREAKNutrition.com, and for being a listener of our podcast, they will give you 10% off your order when you enter the code B+. That is BPLUS at checkout. So make sure, if you want to stay on top of your game, if you want to take your performance to the next level, OUTBREAKNutrition.com, enter the code B+ at checkout.
There was a lot of people around. They did cool stuff. I don't feel like anyone really broke through and became a major star. Out of Britain, at least.
Well, Timothy Thatcher beat the shit out of David Arquette. That was fun.
That was fun. Hey Greg, what did you think of the Bloodsport main event? Forget all of this. Let's talk about Bloodsport.
Bloodsport? Okay, Bloodsport is my jam. Like, I wish Bloodsport was a fucking promotion and not just once a year, you know?
That Barnett match in the main event was, honestly, I was punching walls. I wanted to go for a run. It blew my mind.
I felt like Barnett had no right being in a match that was that fucking good.
It was
like like when was the last time he wrestled?
He had a weird TNA match against Bobby Lashley. I want to say 2017.
Yeah. So, like, if that's your first match in 2 years, and, like, the fucking quality of that match, it's... But honestly, the whole Bloodsport show, man, I loved every single part of it. Like, even, like, seeing, like, Killer Cross work that style. Like, just, fuck me, man. Bloodsport's amazing. Bloodsport, all the game changer wrestling stuff over WrestleMania weekend. Like, to me, it's game changer weekend now. It's not even WrestleMania weekend anymore. It's game changer weekend.
Yeah. I think to maybe pretend we're still talking about Britwres, Davey Boy Smith did really, really well in Bloodsport, and I think he should be wrestling more of that style instead of the sort of big man style he's doing in New Japan. Because
And MLW.
And MLW. Because he seems to really enjoy it, and he's much better at it than he is just normal pro style.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was... Yeah, Bloodsport's amazing. There weren't any other Brits that worked the Bloodsport, though.
No. Timothy Thatcher is an honorary Brit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I brought Timothy Thatcher up before, because he's kind of a Brit, right?
He's Brit adjacent.
Yeah. Counts. It totally counts.
Right, I think, again, not much has happened in Britwres this month, so we're going to spend the last half of the show just previewing Progress have their biggest shows of the weekend, of the year, or one of their
Yes.
biggest shows of the year next weekend. Super Strong Style 16. It's taking place over the 4th and 6th of May, Alexandra Palace. It's a big deal. It's always a lot of fun. Let's talk about it. It has almost...
Our Patreon backer, Jules, is heading over your way for Super Strong Style.
it's a shame I'm not going, otherwise I could go meet up with Jules.
Yeah, he's going to Kaiju as well. Kaiju Big Battle.
Yeah, so to make it a big event, they're doing Kaiju Big Battle as well. Mark Andrews' band, Junior, is playing at the Dome on one night. They sometimes do a live podcast. I don't know if that's happening this year. They're giving away media passes to try and make it a big deal. Hey Greg, I asked for a media pass and got denied. So I'm sorry.
You got denied?
I'm so sorry.
Did you tell them that you're affiliated with the B+?
No, you know what? I didn't for this one. I did for Wembley, but I sent like a sort of... It wasn't a super serious email. So obviously they were like, go away.
Yeah. It's a rookie error. You got to tell them you're affiliated with the B+, and then you'll be in.
I think I did, but I was not super serious when I sent the email. It wasn't like a real professional email. I was like, hey, hi, can I come?
Well, you're letting the team down.
I'm so sorry.
Aqeel. You're letting the team
B+
down.
might be banned from Progress shows now.
I don't think we're banned.
Anyway, let's talk about this tournament.
Yes, Super Strong Style 16.
Yeah.
It's 16, right?
It's 16.
It's even though it's in 2019, it's the 16th.
No,
Super Strong
that's
Style?
not how numbers work, Greg. It's Super Strong Style 16 because there's 16 entrants in the tournament.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So it's Super Strong Style 16-19.
Super Strong Style 16, 19, 27. What?
27. Why
I don't
27?
know, I just threw a number out.
No, but 19 is 2019, Aqeel. We are in the year of our Lord 2019.
Yeah, well, it's the 27th wrestling event at Alexandra Palace. That can't be true. That can't be true.
Yeah, you're making things up again, Arnold.
Did you just call me Arnold?
Yeah, I'm referencing the Book of Mormon. Never mind.
I see.
I've been on a real musical kick lately.
Yeah, I've never watched Book of Arnold.
If someone could combine musicals with pro wrestling, that would be great.
I feel like that's happened. That seems like a thing someone must have done.
Pro wrestling musical.
There was someone combined pro wrestling with drag racing, or drag, as in, you know.
Yeah, like drag queen. Yeah.
Over WrestleMania weekend.
So I've got Singin' in the Pain, a pro wrestling musical.
Singing in the Pain. What is that? It was at the Fringe. Huh. Bizarre.
So it's been done. I know that I guess Loverboy Lockie Hendricks, when I interviewed him, he talked about being in a pro wrestling musical with Crackerjack here in Melbourne. Now, this must have been when I wasn't paying close attention because I do not recall this, but apparently there has been one here. So
You know,
I don't know what that's about.
it seems like a very obvious combination, wrestling and musicals, because they're very similar.
Oh yeah, 100%. And that's why when I say I've been on a musical kick, like I got burned out after WrestleMania week, right?
Yeah.
Which can happen to the best of us. You're gonna get burned out when you watch that much wrestling. And I've been watching musicals because I'm a theater guy and wrestling is theater to me, and so I replaced that with musicals.
What's your favorite musical?
At the moment, I'm watching this show called Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
I know the show.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious, and the songs are amazing. I like musicals that reference the fact that they are a musical.
Did you ever watch Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog?
Yes, dude. Of course, I watched Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog. It's like one of my favorite things of all time ever.
So
Neil
good.
Patrick Harris is amazing.
It's so good, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the whole story of that too, like it came about because the whole writers' strike, like when Hollywood did that weird writers' strike thing in 2008 or whenever it was, and everyone was fucking bored, and they were like, "Let's just make a musical," and everyone was like, "Yeah, let's do it." It's fucking amazing. Anyway, wrestling.
Everything is wrestling.
Super Strong Style 1619.
Yes, Super Strong Style 1619.
But seriously, people, make more wrestling musicals for me, please.
Yeah. Super Strong Style 1619.
27. Yes. In a row.
In a row. In a row? That's how they do it. That's how they do it. In a row?
Yeah. Okay, so you got that reference
Yeah.
at least.
It's 37, not 27.
I know.
I'm just making sure. For the listeners. For the listeners. Can you imagine people actually listen to this?
Yeah, they do. Hi, listeners.
Hi.
Thank you for supporting our weird... I'm going to have to look at the Britwres numbers, actually. Because have we even talked about wrestling yet? I don't even know.
What if it's just us talking to each other? That would be great.
This makes for great radio.
Super Strong Style 1619. Let's talk about it.
My voice is going again. God damn.
Okay. The fact that we don't want to talk about progress shows you where progress is in 2019. On a serious note, they're just not a very interesting promotion anymore. Looking at
Well, I mean, let's be real. They're NXT UK light, and they just keep using these stars that NXT UK have built. And it's just be more creative, guys. Just be more creative.
Yeah, and it's boring, and it's lost a lot of the sort of, I don't know, there was a feeling of progress in early 2016, late 2015. There was it felt like something special. I've seen people compare it to early Ring of Honor in that sense. And it's just lost something. We can go over this field, and it's a cool field, but it's almost entirely imports. You've got Chris Brooks, awesome. You've got Ilya Dragunov, who's now NXT UK. You've got Aerostar for some reason, which is completely random. You've got Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee got announced for this literally moments after it was announced he was signed for WWE. Which is weird because, Trevor Lee works the UK quite often, but Progress were never interested in him before. But as soon as he's WWE, he's being used. Weird stuff like that. Kyle O'Reilly's coming over for this.
Which is pretty cool. But I guess you got to talk about, Kyle O'Reilly is one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, of course. And
so, that's amazing.
And he'll have a couple great matches. But I think, he's not going to win the tournament, first of all. And it doesn't help this idea of WWE, of Progress basically just being a WWE brand if you keep bringing in these WWE guys.
At this point they have to lean into it. They have to go on the network and just go full on. go Good Charlotte dance music as opposed to, because that's what it is. It's the punk band getting signed to the major
That's
label.
exactly what it is.
It's Sex Pistols signing to EMI. Like,
yes,
it's
that's
weird.
exactly what it is. Except we're sort of in a weird transition period where we know they're signed to the major label, but they haven't gone all out yet,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I think they got to lean into it. And this isn't like I've never been one of those fans. Like when Fall Out Boy signed with Island Records, I was like, fucking yes, get it, get paid, buy your houses. Like that's, I've talked about this multiple times when we talk about progress. Like that's my attitude. Like get it, go after it for sure. But in terms of the vibe that you were curating, it's time to lean into the fact that you're corporate sellouts. Like and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, like I'm not saying corporate sellouts as some sort of derogatory thing, because I know that like a lot of like Smallman and them, they're all like punk kids too, right? So like it has this weird vibe that when you say you're a sellout or whatever, but I don't mean it in a bad way, but you got to lean into it.
It's a very
turn heel on the wrestling community.
It's a different vibe that you're cultivating now, and you have to accept that and go with that, as opposed to still trying to be that punk kid. When a punk band signs with a major label, they don't still try to act punk and act like they're against the system. They lean into it.
Yeah.
Good Charlotte dance music,
Exactly.
like you said. Progress haven't had that yet. They're still calling themselves punk. They still act like they're punk when it's not. It's just not what it is. And this tournament is going to be great, and we're going to talk about it in more detail, but I don't care. I was joking with you, but I could easily get media passes and a free ticket to this. I don't want to go. It's just a waste of my time.
We should go hang out with Jules. Jules can ply you with vegan food or something.
I don't like vegan food. A guy I lived with. I've told this story so many places. A guy I lived with in uni went vegan for a girl.
Yeah,
it was weird.
I know so many dudes that have gone vegan for girls.
It was weird.
Yeah. I've toyed with the vegan idea. I've toyed with it. But I'm terrified. I'm terrified that the food just won't taste good. Like I like bacon and eggs,
Yeah, although do you guys have this thing, the Impossible Burger?
I've not heard of it.
Okay, so it's a vegan burger which tastes a lot like meat. They even have some now which are starting to be like, it's almost juicy somehow. I don't understand it. It's a little bit gross, but it works.
No, I've seen people cooking vegan meat that actually bleeds, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this? Why? This is weird.
Yeah, it feels really weird, but it works in a weird way.
Yeah. Look, I mean, ethically, I would totally go vegan. You know what, man? We're going to have to just do like a podcast where we shoot the shit and don't necessarily call it a wrestling podcast, because we've gone through musicals and now we're talking about veganism. Like this is Joe Rogan. This is not Wrestling Observer. Like, what are we doing?
Who cares? Wrestling is shit. Fuck progress.
Yeah. But I feel like I knew you weren't a vegan, because if you were, you would have told me.
Would I? I get the joke. Nice.
Yeah, it's like CrossFit, it's how you know.
So this girl tried to convert me to veganism as well.
Okay, and that didn't work for her?
No, so...
Did she like offer a three-way or something? Like what?
No, let's not be weird now, Greg.
Okay, all right.
We just talked about veganism for like an hour or two, and then the next day she was like, so what do you think? And I told her, I just had a chicken and bacon sandwich, so,
And I did not feel guilty
not at all. Progress.
See, my thing is, I'm completely against like factory farming and stuff. Like, I would rather hunt my own food, which I guess that turns people off in a whole other way. But I feel like the ancients had it right, man. Like, you'd be thankful for your part in the life cycle, Like, I'm thankful to every chicken I eat, and it'd be a lot easier if I actually looked that chicken in the eyes and said thank you before doing the deed,
That's a bit weird, Greg. It's a bit weird.
like I said, ethically, I'm totally there. I would go
Yeah.
vegan, but I'm terrified that I won't like the food.
So what if?
Much like watching Progress.
No, let's not transition. I want to talk about this chicken thing. If
Okay, all
I
right.
brought you a chicken, I'm like, hey Greg, look at this chicken. Thank this chicken, and now I'm gonna go kill it and make a burger out of it or whatever. That would make you happy with it.
Yeah. What?
That's what you said.
Like, no. I feel like I feel like the way our ancestors did it, where they sustainably raised or hunted, the
Yeah.
food, and they would be thankful for its part in the life cycle. It was just sort of a natural thing, and they used every part of it. Like no part of the animal went to
Yeah.
waste, right? And like I feel like that's a more wholesome way of doing it than factory farming's pretty fucking awful,
Yeah,
man.
no, I'm not going to pretend it isn't.
Yeah. So I won't lie. Like when I get like a chicken burger from KFC or whatever, like I feel awful, but at the same time I'm like, man, this is delicious. Like it's yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with veganism.
Good to know. Let's talk about Progress.
Yeah.
Who might be vegan.
Well, I mean, we are talking about the inexorable march towards progress, though, right? Like, I mean, that's where we're at already.
No, I had a better transition. I was going to say half of Britwres is vegans now because of Progress. Let's talk about Progress.
Yes. Let's do it.
I think what we'll do is I'll go over all the first round matches. Anything that I find interesting, I'll talk about, or you find interesting, we'll talk about, and we'll just go from there.
All right.
So we've got
good.
Chris Brooks, Ilya Dragunov. Should be a hell of a match. Trevor Lee, Aerostar. Weird match that's happening. I don't know why it's happening. Travis Banks, DJZ. Now, I'm a big fan of DJZ. Another guy
Who's just gone to WWE
and immediately got booked by Progress, even though he was around for ages. And
never picked up.
and
Yeah.
I know
It is odd. It's very odd.
and I know for a fact that Jim Smallman was aware of how good DJZ was. So
Yeah.
just putting it out there. Here's a weird one, or an interesting one. This is one I really like, actually. So you have David Starr, who I think could actually win the whole tournament, against Artemis Spencer. Do you know who Artemis Spencer is?
I do not know Artemis Spencer, but David Starr has to win,
David
right?
Starr has to win. I think he's winning the whole tournament, or at least making it to the finals.
No, I've got him for winning the whole thing.
I could completely buy it. Because so far, we've gone through one half of the bracket. Other than David Starr, the only one I could see making it to the finals is Chris Brooks. And I don't think he's ready for that spot yet, as much as I like Chris Brooks.
Yeah.
But Artemis Spencer, where Artemis Spencer is interesting is he's a guy from Pacific Northwest, not very well known, but he worked a couple of the Progress US shows and obviously made a big impression there and is being brought over. And this is the kind of stuff I really like. I like them going, hey, here's a guy that's not really well known. We have a big platform. We like him. Let's bring him over and make him a star.
Yeah.
Obviously, putting him against David Starr kind of shows he's not getting very far. But, he'll probably work the day 3 scramble or something. Could make a big impression. Could be coming along.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And just as you were saying that too, I was thinking about what we were talking about with the vibes of Progress, right? And that adds to the vibe, is using those lesser known guys. But also David Starr, you want to restore your punk rock vibe. David Starr's a guy to get behind.
100%. And it's really...
David Starr is punk rock. For real.
Progress have been using him really badly this entire time. For ages, he was just in a sort of comedy tag team with Jack Sexsmith, based on the fact that you could call them Sexy Star. And that was funny.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. It was, you got that one chuckle, that's it. You could have used them once and nothing, but they were like a long-term tag team when David Starr is, frankly, one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world. And to completely waste...
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, his promos are like one of the few things I care about in wrestling. Like, the man is amazing.
Yeah, and we've talked about his amazing feud with Jordan Devlin and Walter on here. He is just a phenomenal, phenomenal wrestler. And he's moved to this country, so you have him regularly. Why you're not using him seriously, I don't understand. Yes.
Maybe we see that change. Maybe we see that change
change.
at Super Strong Style.
Other side of the bracket, weirder again. You've got Kyle O'Reilly against Chris Ridgway. This will rule. It'll be an absolutely...
That's an amazing matchup.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Like when I think of Kyle O'Reilly's like the stuff that I fell in love with him in Evolve and whatnot, like goddamn, like him that's going to be amazing. Him and Ridgway.
It's going to be. I'm sure this is like a dream match for Ridgway, so he's going to work hard. It's a shame that Ridgway probably won't make it out of the first round because how can you pin a WWE guy? But we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it could be a star-making moment.
Could be. I hope so. Ridgway he's a very inconsistent wrestler, so he needs that one sort of big breakout match.
Yeah. Chris Ridgway didn't work Bloodsport and should have.
Yeah, I don't think he was over in the US for WrestleMania.
Boo, Ridgway.
I mean, he probably didn't get booked. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
You've got Darby Allin against Paul Robinson. That will be fun. Again,
Darby Allin's losing, right? Because he just signed to AEW.
Maybe. I could see Darby going over. I don't know about that one. Lucky Kid, Jordan.
Well, I would love to see Darby versus O'Reilly.
Yeah, that would be really good.
Like as a round 2 match, that would be amazing.
And if you wanna have Darby lose because he signed to AEW, what better guy to have him lose to than Kyle O'Reilly, the WWE guy?
Yeah. But are they going to let that kind of match happen? Politically, it's a fucking minefield.
Yeah, this whole tournament is weird politically.
Yeah. But I'm just thinking that... keep going through this side of the bracket, and then I'll give you my final.
Cool. You've got Lucky Kid, Jordan Devlin. Lucky Kid actually won 16 Carat, the tournament we didn't really talk about, but talked about. Yeah, this will be great as well. I think Devlin is another guy that's probably making it to the finals. And a starred Devlin final, we've seen how good their match at OTT was. We know they can have a great match. So I think that's the kind of final you want to do. And
Has David Starr released any promo material leading into Super Strong Style yet?
He's been teasing something for the last couple of days, so I reckon we'll get something soon.
Right. Because him versus a WWE guy, whether it's Devlin or O'Reilly, in the final, would be like if they play the story right and if he does the promo right, which he would. Let's be real, he would. And if he treats WWE as this corporate giant, much like he's been treating Ring of Honor, right? It could be just an incredible story that gets everyone talking.
Yeah, see, that would be really, really great. But that's not something Progress in 2019 would do. That's something Progress in maybe 2015 would do. But this...
Yeah. The Progress that felt a little more like a modern ECW.
This goes back to the changing in vibe of Progress. That would be a phenomenal story. But if you're Progress, do you want to rock the boat like that? Do you want to have your top star going, oh yeah, WWE, they're shit?
Yeah. Rail against the Saudi money and stuff. I'd rock the boat. But I'm not staring down the barrel of these giant checks.
Exactly. They're not finding your checks.
Yeah. So It's easy for me to say that. Plus, don't WWE have a clause where they could just buy Progress at any moment and be like, fuck your stories?
We based on everything we know, almost definitely.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever been spelled out explicitly, but Rev Pro were offered that contract and turned it down. So it wouldn't be shocking if Progress have that. And yeah, they could just be like, fuck you guys, we're finally gonna launch this second tier network and just buy you. Fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because they already have like Smallman and stuff running NXT, basically. So they can just be like, yeah, so now you're still going to run Progress, but you don't own it. And you do what we say.
Because Smallman and John Briley are working in NXT UK. Glenn Joseph.
Just as creative, right? They're not doing any of the like booking venues or any of that. So they're just creative.
They're the booking team for that. They're creative, exactly. Gabe Sapolsky is also involved in that, which is a weird 3-man team. And you hear Glenn Joseph in backstage interviews and things. You know when they have like the reporters all around a wrestler. I haven't watched NXT UK in a while, so I don't know if they still do that.
They do.
One of the voices that's regularly there is Glenn Joseph. But as far as I know, he's not involved in the actual creative.
Yeah. But they're around anyway.
They are, again, they're WWE adjacent.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think they're adjacent. Like I said, like they're... they're employees.
They're full-time employees. Even in their Twitter bios now that they work for NXT UK. It's not a secret.
Yeah. It's a real weird situation.
Yeah, you know.
Let's get through the bracket.
Last match in the bracket, actually, Kyle Fletcher versus Darga. Again, really weird match. Weird that Darga's in this tournament.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was getting... I feel like WWE were interested in him at one point, but I don't remember. Kyle Fletcher being in this is really good because I think in Progress, Mark Davis has always been treated as the bigger star of that team.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Fletcher to break out a little.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to go on a limb and say Fletcher's the better wrestler of the two.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, he's younger. I think he's got more potential over time to be the better wrestler.
Yeah, I think
what I would put it. Yeah,
Davis, because he's been around a while, he's a more finished wrestler.
Yeah, more polished, more rounded.
Yeah. Kyle is still, because he's still growing, I think, not only a case of potential, but I think he's improving at a rapid rate anyway.
Oh yeah, when he came back for that brief stint that he did last year, when he did Coliseum and the Wrestle Rampage show, he was an entirely different worker to when he left.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's gained a lot of confidence, I think.
Yes, very much so.
And it's really paying off. I could see Kyle making it far in this tournament, but I don't think he's winning just because obviously he and Mark Davis are still the tag champions, and I don't see them pushing him as a singles guy while being the tag champion.
Yeah.
I think he's there just to be like, hey, Kyle's a good singles wrestler as well. Anyway, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. Is there anything more you want to talk about the strong style?
No, so, I mean, I think, what do you have as your final? Like, pick a final. What do you see?
My final, I'm going with Star Devlin in the final. It's the only one that makes sense. It's based on the bracket layout. There's nothing else really. You could have Banks Devlin in the final, I guess, but I think Star Devlin is a more interesting match.
Yeah, I like the idea of Star Devlin or Star O'Reilly.
Yeah, I would prefer Devlin just because fuck WWE.
Yeah, but I say O'Reilly if that's the story they're going with. Fuck WWE. If that's the story, then O'Reilly's probably a better fit than Devlin.
Then it works really, really well if you have Kyle in that. O'Reilly, in that final.
But it's weird. It's weird. Super Strong Style's weird. I personally, if I was going over, I would probably actually be more excited for Kaiju.
Yeah. Kaiju, Mark Davis's band. There's cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
There just also happens to be wrestling.
Yeah. So it's a big weekend, and I guess we'll catch up at some point in the next few months to talk about it.
But eventually we'll talk about it and be like, hey, that was shit, wasn't it? Let's talk more about musicals. Or what do you think next time will be? Comics? Are you a comics person, Greg?
Well, I wanted to talk about Endgame, but you haven't watched it yet.
No, we're not talking about Endgame. We're never talking about Endgame.
I'm very much a comics person. At the moment, I'm rereading Paper Girls, which is
I don't know Paper Girls.
Paper Girls. Are you like a Marvel, DC, or indie?
A bit of everything, really.
Should talk about this off air probably, but yeah, Image Comics, Paper Girls, Brian K. Vaughan. Anything Brian K. Vaughan puts out, like I'm all over.
Yeah.
Like that dude's my shit. Anyway, where can people find you, Aqeel?
You can follow me on Twitter at Aqeel Khalid, AQEELKHALID. I did another podcast last weekend with Arnold Furious talking about WrestleMania weekend.
Indeed.
There were just as many dumb tangents in that as there was in this.
I felt like it was far better put together than this will be.
Probably, but I don't remember it very well. I was very tired.
Yeah.
These are more fun podcasts because I can just show up here. I did have a plan until 10 minutes before we recorded. Can you tell?
I have not clicked over into the run sheet that you sent me once.
I see. Nice.
So I apologize for that. And if you want to find me, guys, you know where to do it. I am Greg Unchained on Twitter, at GregUnchained on Instagram. Collectively, of course, the B Plus Wrestle on Twitter, the B Plus Wrestling, everywhere else. Like, share, subscribe, 5-star review if you like what we do. And thank you so much for listening.